Cowboys Nation, big news. Coaching search heats up. Could this candidate fix one of the team's biggest weaknesses? Hello, Cowboys fans, and welcome back to the channel. The Dallas Cowboys are in the middle of one of the most important off-seasons in franchise history. After another disappointing playoff exit, it is clear that major changes are coming, and the biggest decision of all will be the hiring of a new head coach. We all know that the goal is to improve and bring home another Lombardi Trophy. This organization has been searching for that winning formula for decades, and now they have an opportunity to bring in a leader who can take this team to the next level. Before we dive into today's story, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss breaking Cowboys news. Now let's talk about one of the most interesting candidates in the Cowboys coaching search and why he might be the perfect fit to fix one of the team's biggest weaknesses. The Dallas Cowboys are actively interviewing candidates to fill the head coaching vacancy, and they are looking for someone who can finally turn this talented roster into a true championship contender. For years, the Cowboys have had plenty of stars on both sides of the ball, but when it comes to winning big games in the postseason, they have continued to fall short. Many reasons can be pointed out, but one of the most glaring issues has been the team's inability to stop the run when it matters most. Time and time again, we have seen the Cowboys struggle in the trenches against physical teams. Whether it was getting run over by the San Francisco 49ers in the playoffs or allowing opponents to control the clock late in games, this has been a recurring issue that needs to be addressed. That is where Frazier enters the conversation. The Cowboys are scheduled to interview Frazier, and his track record as a defensive coach makes him a very intriguing option for Dallas. Frazier has been in the NFL coaching ranks for decades and has built a reputation as a strong defensive mind. His most recent role was as the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, where he helped turn them into one of the most consistent defensive teams in the league. One of the most impressive aspects of Frazier's tenure in Buffalo was the way his defenses performed against the run. In 2021, the Bills allowed just 109.8 rushing yards per game, which ranked 14th in the league. The following year, they improved even further, giving up only 104.6 rushing yards per game, which ranked 5th in the NFL. For comparison, the Cowboys' best season against the run since 2021 came in 2023, when they allowed 112.4 rushing yards per game, which ranked only 16th in the league. The numbers clearly show that Frazier has the ability to put together a disciplined and effective run defense, something the Cowboys have struggled with for years. If Dallas wants to take the next step as a legitimate Super Bowl contender, stopping the run has to be a priority. Now, let's talk about something that has been a hot topic among Cowboys fans for the past year. Before the 2024 season, the Cowboys front office and ownership pushed the idea that this team was all in on winning a championship. Fans were told that this was the year they would make a serious push for a Super Bowl, and expectations were set at an all-time high. But when you look at the moves that were made, did the Cowboys actually do enough to justify that claim? According to SpotTrack, the Cowboys spent just $18.85 million in free agency last offseason. That was the lowest amount spent by any team in the NFL. Think about that for a second. The front office said they were all in on winning a championship, but at the same time, they spent the least amount of money in free agency out of all 32 teams. That is not what an all-in team does. One of the biggest criticisms of the Cowboys front office in 2024 was their decision to avoid making a move for a true power running back. The Cowboys entered the season with Tony Pollard as their lead back, but it quickly became clear that they needed a more physical runner to balance the offense. One name that was constantly linked to Dallas was Derrick Henry. Henry was available, and the Cowboys had the chance to make a move for one of the most dominant running backs in the league, but instead of pulling the trigger, they decided to stay put. So how did Henry perform in 2024? He finished the season with 1,221 rushing yards, the second most in the league, and was tied for the most rushing touchdowns with 16. Meanwhile, the Cowboys' running game struggled throughout the season, and their lack of a physical presence in the backfield was evident in the playoffs. This was a massive missed opportunity by the front office, and it is one of the reasons why fans are frustrated heading into 2025. The Cowboys' running game in 2024 was inconsistent, to say the least. When Tony Pollard was let go last offseason, Many questioned whether the Cowboys had a real plan for the backfield. Enter Rico Dowdle. The former undrafted free agent stepped up in a big way, rushing for a career-high 1,079 yards and proving that he could handle a bigger role in the offense. But here's the catch. Dowdle is now a free agent, and his breakout season means he's going to have plenty of suitors in the market. The Cowboys could try to bring him back, but they may also look for an upgrade at the position, and that brings us to Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is one of the best pure runners in the NFL when healthy, a four-time Pro Bowler with the Cleveland Browns. Chubb has been one of the most dominant backs in the league over the past 5 years. But after suffering a devastating knee injury in 2023, he played in a limited role in 2024, carrying the ball just 102 times. That limited workload might actually work in favor of a team like Dallas. Chubb didn't take as many hits as usual last season, and with a full offseason to recover, he could be primed for a bounce-back year in 2025. According to Sports Illustrated's Tyler Reed, the Cowboys should be a team to watch when it comes to Chubb's free agency. He mentioned that while Chubb comes with some risk due to his injury history, the potential reward far outweighs any concerns. Think about what Chubb could bring to this offense. He's a power back with elite vision, great balance, and the ability to break tackles at an elite level. He would immediately add a physical presence to the Cowboys' backfield, something that was missing last season. Why this move makes sense for Dallas, there are a few key reasons why signing Nick Chubb would make a lot of sense for the Cowboys. A true workhorse back. One of the biggest issues for the Cowboys in 2024 was their inability to control the tempo of games. Too often, the offense became one-dimensional, putting extra pressure on the passing attack. Chubb is the type of running back who can take over games, wear down defenses, and make life easier for the entire offense, helping Dak Prescott Dak. Prescott is set to return in 2025 after missing the final stretch of the 2024 season due to injury. When he's at his best, he has a strong running game supporting him. Look back at the Cowboys' best seasons in recent history. Whether it was Ezekiel Elliott in his prime or Tony Pollard's breakout year, a strong run game has always been a key factor in Dak's success. If the Cowboys want to maximize their chances of competing for a Super Bowl, they need to make life easier for their quarterback. Signing Chubb would do exactly that. The Browns might move on. One reason Chubb could be available is the Browns' current situation. Cleveland holds the number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, and with a chance to select a franchise quarterback or a young star running back, they may decide to move on from Chubb as they retool their roster. At 29 years old, Chubb is still capable of playing at a high level, but he may be looking for a team that gives him the best chance to compete for a championship. The Cowboys, with a new coach and Dak Prescott returning, could be an attractive destination. Of course, no move comes without risk, and Chubb's recent injury history is something the Cowboys must consider. Major knee injuries are always a concern for running backs, and the Cowboys need to be sure that Chubb can still perform at a high level before making a commitment. However, if Chubb is willing to sign a reasonable deal with incentives based on performance, this could be a perfect low-risk, high-reward situation for Dallas. As the Cowboys continue their head coaching search, they must make the right hire if they want to finally break through in the playoffs. If Leslie Frazier is the guy, he needs to come in and immediately focus on fixing the run defense. If he can do that, the Cowboys will be a much more complete team moving forward. But beyond the coaching hire, the front office must also take a more aggressive approach in free agency. If this team is truly serious about winning a championship, they have to be willing to spend the money and make the necessary moves to build a Super Bowl-caliber roster. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys' leadership cannot afford to let another opportunity slip away. The pressure is on, and Cowboys fans will be watching closely to see if this team finally takes the steps needed to become a true contender. Now, it is time for you to join the conversation. Do you think Leslie Frazier is the right coach to fix the Cowboys' run defense? Do you believe the Cowboys were truly all in last season? Or was it just a marketing tactic? What moves do you want to see the front office make this offseason to improve the team? Let us know in the comments. And before you go, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss any Cowboys news. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.